Hello my fellow Welt lovers. Today we're diving into a truly one-of-a-kind unit, Castorice, the 5-star Quantum Remembrance DPS who doesn't just flirt with death, she manages it like a full-time job. Hailing from Eidolons, the land that reveres death itself, Castorice is the Chrysos heir, a quiet storm of damage and HP manipulation that will demand everything from your team's health bars in exchange for pure, devastating output. She's adorable, deadly, and absolutely meta-shaking. Even better, she works incredibly well with free units. Her best-in-slot team includes Remembrance Trailblazer and Gallagher, both available to all players, making her one of the most accessible top-tier units on release. Whether you're new to the game or a long-time veteran, Castorice delivers high-level damage with a kit that's as thematic as it is engaging. Hey guys, before we continue further, if you're planning to pull for your favorite waifu, husbando, or maybe any of the rerun units in this version, listen up because I've been using Loot Bar, and it lets you save up to 23% on all your purchases. Just to show you how good this deal is, I bought a 6480 Oneiric shard pack for only $79, while the same pack costs about $100 in the in-game shop. Topping up is super simple. All you need to do is enter your UID, select your server, and in just a few minutes, you'll receive your Jades. And yes, if it's your first purchase, you'll still get the double top-up bonus, just like in-game. What's even better is that Loot Bar isn't just for Honkai Star Rail. You can also top up in Genshin Impact with the same discounts. With thousands of 5-star reviews, it's a safe, reliable, and cheaper way to get more value for your money. And here's the best part. If you use my link in the description or the pinned comment, you'll get an extra 8% off on top of all the other discounts. So, if you're looking to pull more for less, check out Loot Bar now. Castorice is a pure HP scaling DPS who relies on summoning her giant memo sprite, Netherwing, to deal most of her damage. Her gameplay loop revolves around building up a special energy gauge called Newbud, which caps at 34,000 and is fueled by allies losing HP or being healed. Once Newbud is full, she can summon Netherwing via her ultimate, who then acts immediately with 165 SPD and 100% of Newbud as its own HP pool. While Netherwing is on the field, Castorice can no longer gain Newbud, and all HP loss or healing from allies is instead converted into healing for Netherwing. This forms a fluid loop where she drains the team, heals the team, fuels the dragon, and then explodes it. Her skill, Silence Wraithfly's Caress, costs 0 skill points and consumes 30% of all allies' current HP to deal blast quantum damage based on her max HP. Once Netherwing is active, this skill becomes Boneclaw, Doomdrake's Embrace, a full AoE joint ATK between Castorice and Netherwing that consumes 40% of current ally HP and heals Netherwing by an equal amount. This enhanced skill becomes a key part of fueling extra turns and extending Netherwing's uptime if you choose not to detonate immediately. Her ultimate, Doom Shriek Dawn's Chime, summons Netherwing and deploys the Lost Netherland territory, reducing all enemies all-type residential by 20%. The territory vanishes when Netherwing disappears, either after 3 turns or when its HP hits 0. If the player chooses to use Scorch Breath repeatedly, it will consume 25% of Netherwing's HP per use, ramping its damage multiplier each time. Once Netherwing drops below 25% HP and uses another breath, it is reduced to 1 HP and triggers Wings Sweep the Ruins, a 6-hit bounce attack that deals 40% of Castorice's max HP per hit and heals the entire party. This move is especially deadly in single-target fights where the bounces converge on one enemy. Castorice's talent, Desolation Across Palms, is what ties everything together. Every point of HP lost by allies or healed is converted into Newbud. When Netherwing is active, Newbud gain stops, and healing instead restores Netherwing's HP. Whenever any ally loses HP, both Castorice and Netherwing gain a 20% DMG buff, stacking up to 3 times and lasting 3 turns. This makes carefully timed HP drain and healing not just necessary, but directly beneficial to ramping damage. Her technique, Whale Death's Herald, is also extremely strong. Before battle, she enters the Nethervale state. If she initiates combat, she immediately summons Netherwing at 50% HP and steals 40% of ally HP to heal it further. She also gets 30% of Newbud for free. It's one of the strongest openers in the game. She also has a unique passive called Sanctuary of Moon Cocoon. When any ally would be downed, they instead enter the Moon Cocoon state, giving them one chance to act as normal. If they're healed or shielded before their next turn, they survive. Otherwise, they go down after acting. This effect only activates once per battle but is incredibly useful for clutch saves and high-damage content. Netherwing's two active skills are Claw Splits the Veil, a basic AoE that ends Netherwing's turn, and Breath Scorches the Shadow, the core attack that consumes HP and ramps up damage the more you use it. The Breath attack doesn't end the dragon's turn, allowing you to use it multiple times per cycle. Up to 4 breaths can be used at full HP before detonation. If timed properly with buffs and healing, it's possible to squeeze 5 or even 6 breaths with enough support. That stacking damage, paired with her Ascension 6 bonus, makes the Breath combo one of the most devastating attacks in the game. Her A2 trace, contained Dark Tide, is critical. It lets healing convert into new bud, up to 12% of the gauge per ally, per action. This means healers are batteries in her kit. A 4 Inverted Torch gives Castorice 40% SPD when above 50% HP, and gives Netherwing 100% SPD when enemies are already at 0 HP or unbreakable. This has huge implications for optimizing speed tuning, especially in pure fiction. Her A6, where the West Wind dwells, makes each breath attack give 30% increased damage, stacking up to 6 times. That's up to 180% DMG bonus in a single turn if you breathe it all out before detonation. Her Eidolons add even more spice. E1, Snowbound Maiden, adds a conditional damage multiplier of 120% to 140% depending on the enemy's current HP. It's nice for pushing enemies below thresholds, though situational. E2, Crown on Wings of Bloom, is where things get wild. You get 2 free breath attacks that don't consume Netherwing's HP, a 100% action advance for Castorice, and 30% new bud on her next enhanced skill. This lets you rotate ultimates faster and squeeze out more damage, but it can interfere with buff windows, so proper rotation tuning is essential. E4 gives a simple 20% increase to team healing received, helpful for fueling new bud. E6 gives 20% quantum residential PN, lets Netherwing ignore weakness typing, and increases the bounce count on detonation by 3, for a total of 9 hits. This significantly buffs her single target damage in endgame modes. Relic-wise, there's no contest. Castorice wants a 4-piece Poet of Morning Collapse. Thanks to her A4 passive giving 40% SPD in combat, she can sit below 95 base speed and still hit breakpoints, activating the full Poet bonus effortlessly. Planar-wise, Bone Collection's Serene Domain is the only set that works optimally with Netherwing. Most other planar sets don't apply to Memo Sprite damage at all, so using them severely limits her potential. For stats, you'll want a crit DMG chest, HP percent boots, HP or Quantum Orb, HP is slightly better, and HP percent rope. Substats should aim for crit DMG, crit rate, and HP percent, while keeping speed under 95 and less speed tuning for specific setups. In combat, aim for 7 to 8k HP, 100% crit rate including bonuses, and around 200 to 220% crit DMG. Lightcone options are narrow. Her signature, Make Farewells More Beautiful, is far and away her best option. It increases her max HP, provides 30% def shred for all of her damage including Netherwings, and gives her an action advance when Netherwing dies. Perfect for keeping up pressure. At S1, it's already leagues above the rest. Sweat now, Cry Less is okay at S5, but prone to overcapping crit rate due to her other sources. Time waits for no one, and even post-op conversation are passable if they offer high base HP, but all fall behind the signature by a wide margin. Victory in a Blink, while easy to get, has low base stats and doesn't benefit her damage types, so it ends up underperforming even against off-path high HP cones. Between her signature and Eidolons, the signature is generally the better investment. E1 is situational, while her cone provides consistent damage increases and smooths out her action order. Even if you plan to get E2, having the cone makes her feel complete at E0. As for synergy, Castorice pairs perfectly with Remembrance Trailblazer. Their Memo Sprite adds another HP-consuming unit to the team, increasing new bud gain. They also provide crit rate, crit DMG, and a huge true DMG buff that applies to both Castorice and Netherwing. Tribby is her single best support. Her massive HP pool makes her ideal for HP drain, and she supplies powerful universal buffs that scale better with Castorice than traditional ATK-based buffs. On top of that, Tribby's follow-up attacks help trigger healing effects, fueling Castorice even faster. Sunday is a viable support, especially for long-duration buff setups, but requires precise speed tuning. Castorice's fluctuating speed and Sunday's timing restrictions make it hard to consistently line up buffs unless you build carefully. Sunday also can't pass his buffs retroactively to Netherwing after it's summoned. For healing, Gallagher is the strongest battery for Castorice's new Bud generation due to his high healing per hit. His Besotted debuff allows multiple heals per attack across the team, creating frequent charge cycles. However, he relies on keeping enemies debuffed, so he drops off against enemies that cleanse or die too fast. Luocha, by comparison, is more stable and consistent across all content. His field heals on attack and isn't tied to enemy mechanics, making him slightly better in pure fiction. Luocha is also less reliant on team comp and still provides excellent value for Castorice rotations. She can even run with Mighty in a dual DPS comp. Mighty benefits from her HP drain for his Godslayer stacks, and his self-healing helps fuel Castorice. They amplify each other's damage passively, making them a strong pick for aggressive compositions. In terms of playstyle, Castorice has two main paths: instant detonation and sustained Netherwing. Most players and the AI default to detonating Netherwing immediately after summoning. This is often optimal, especially in single target where the finisher can hit like a truck. It also maximizes her A6 damage stacks and allows faster ultimate cycling with supports like RMC. On the other hand, sustaining Netherwing through Breath, Claw lets you hold the territory debuff longer, buffing the team more consistently and extending buff windows with units like Sunday. Both styles are valid, but most teams benefit more from fast detonation and frequent resummons. Either way, her gameplay loop, drain, heal, summon, breathe, explode, is one of the most satisfying rotations in the game. Castorice is not only strong on release, she's flexible, scalable, and beautifully designed. Whether you're in for the aesthetics, the mechanics, or just the raw numbers, she's an amazing pull, and best of all, she doesn't ask for a whale-only team to thrive. Just some HP, some healing, and a dragon that's always ready to explode.